YouTube, I'm connecting YouTube right now to see if it works. And it's working. Yeah, so Looney, you just can't be Looney on Twitch, man. Not permitted. Not permitted at all. And I mean, I was going through the whole thing. I was changing all my stream keys, changing my bit rates, I was going crazy, like trying to figure this thing out. Like just everywhere. Please set the bit rate to a value less than 3500 kPa. Is out of recommendation. Jesus Christ. Okay, hang on. I need to change my bit rate. Oh my god. Output. I'm just gonna do a 2500 BPS. Apply. Boom. Okay, let's see if that makes Twitch happy. Lower that sucker down. I thought their bitrate max was 6,000, but apparently Twitch only wants you to stream at 1,000 kilobits per second. So I'm just gonna okay, it says 26 is great. I'm gonna keep it here. We're cruising in the pocket. Half the people on the front page are the L word. Yeah, Looney added permitted, so it should be fine in the chat. Yeah, no, I saw that you had permitted. That's what made me think of it, because I saw that you had permitted it in my doodad, my overlay, my Twitch Modabot, Jobby Jobberson. I was like, okay, well, that seems like a weird permitted term. Hang on, I gotta rebuild my command center here. My shit's all out of whack. Okay. And all my like Reddit pages of like trying to figure this shit out. Okay. All right. Get my command center back together. While they allow, yeah, and they allow people the most insane things. Recommended, doesn't mean you have to. When does your summer spring menu come out, Bo? I have an idea to throw out for starting a base for a beverage. So April is when we change to Lost Souls. So that's going to be like April 10th through maybe the end of April if we have enough tiki mugs and stuff. And then we will hit that. I mean, right now we're technically, a lot of our menu is very spring-esque. Like we have the cocktail, Is It Spring Yet? We have that strawberry mezcal cocktail, the Madame Lapin. We've got the Danimal style. I know that those three are definitely going to carry over to the menu refresh after April, our tiki menu. And then we'll add some summertime cocktails for it. But yeah, let's see. Twitch is cutting back on stuff more and more, mod actions. Twitch almost cut all VODs. What do you mean VOD? Like video on demand? Is there another VO? That mezcal strawberry, it is super, super yummy. Oh yeah, send me a DM. I'd be curious to hear it. So video on demand. Twitch has VOD, like movies. I didn't know they had movies. I don't know. The world is rapidly changing, and in a terrifying fashion. Vince, oh damn, and I just can't keep my no saved streams. Yeah, so the cloud, as we were promised 5 years ago, was just put everything there, put everything on the cloud, because it's going to be fine, until they realized, holy shit, there are like gigaflops of data that we don't have anywhere to put it, and now nobody has hard drives, like new PCs on the market. Nobody even has PCs, number one. Most things only have a couple of terabytes on their base hard drive, and now we're like, oh, well, we're not saving it for you either, because we don't have space for it, so go fuck yourself. I noticed that you are Facebook Live, because I do my weather reports, and I've got weather reports going back for years, which I consider a really cool farmer's almanac tool. If you go back and you look at these streams to see weather forecasting, and yeah, just like Merle was saying about a month to offload everything to YouTube, and I feel like YouTube's going to be the same thing. Like, live streams are no longer going to be saved, and I feel like it might be for these people that just do these music live streams that just sit there and live it for 24 hours or something. But I don't know. I don't know what the reaction is, but I know it's because they don't have the storage space for it. But I know I got an alert, and it was like February 19th when Facebook was like, hey, it's only going to last for 30 days and then it's going away. So now I have to figure out how to download this video from Facebook, remember to do it, and then re-upload it somewhere else. I guess I could re-upload it to Facebook, but I don't want it to go on my stream. I don't want to give a notification to everybody and be like, Bo's uploading all these videos about snow. I just want them to continue to exist so people can go back. I like to look back and see how much accumulation we had at these different dates so I can like be a better weather forecaster in the future for people, because I can go back and all these different streams that I did, I'd be like, all right, well, we got like 18 inches, we got 12 inches, we got 6 inches, we got it at this weekend and this weekend, and it helps me, you know, be a better streamer when I am going out there. So yeah, it's a bummer. Like, because I don't want to edit this show. Like, if this show turned into something that I filmed and then edited and then uploaded, it would die. I'm just going to be very straightforward with you guys. Like, I don't have the time to edit. I know it would probably make a hilarious, like, short form TV or web stream show, whatever the fuck you call these things anymore. But I know I wouldn't do it because I don't have that kind of time. Like, I've been doing this so long that I can just jump on live and, you know, we can have an entertaining hour and a half. But yeah, Mark, we're going to have to start self-archiving in our brains, not just in memories, but but he only had like 10 gigabytes in his head. Or maybe it was 1 terabyte. I don't know. It was, you would think it would have been more. You know, I was like, jack me in. I need more space. And then like Takeshi Kitano's the bad guy, and wasn't like Ice Cube a kangaroo, or not? No, it was Ice-T, and he was like a kangaroo man or something, and then there was a dolphin that could like talk, and like it was like the dolphin from Sequest DSV, and it had like all this Borg shit on its face, and it was like the hacker. Oh, was it Tank Girl that Ice-T was the kangaroo guy? Ice-T kangaroo. Yeah, that was Tank Girl. I was getting my post-apocalyptic tech weirdos. Ice-T wasn't in Johnny Mnemonic. No, he was. He was one of the low-techs. And he also kind of looked like the kangaroo. Yeah, he basically played the same character in both of these. Like, yeah, there he is in Johnny Mnemonic, but here he is in Tank Girl. Okay, so I'm not crazy. So the post-apocalyptic Ice-T pantheon overlaps more than we thought. I can never remember which actor is a cube and which one is a T. Yeah, man, spill the tea. Vince says, in the story and film Johnny Mnemonic, Johnny's initial memory capacity was 80 gigabytes, which he upgrades to 160. Okay, so he's not quite a terabyte. He then faces he's asked to carry 320 gigs, and then it's beyond capacity, potentially fatal. I mean, I read the original short story. It's not. I want to say it's a William Gibson. Fact check me on this one, so I'm no cheating. I want to say, I think it's William Gibson. That's his name, Gibson. Yeah. Did he write Johnny Mnemonic? Fine, I'm gonna look it up. Yes, he did. Boom, 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 and that's why I'm the host of this show. Yeah, it was a short story, and I'm trying to remember where I read it. It was in an anthology of really cool sci-fi short stories. I was really into like dystopian cyberpunk in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like I was in it. I was like, dude, Johnny Mnemonic, I love that movie. supercomputer in hackers. Oh yeah, you gotta hack the Gibson. You gotta hack the Gibson. And that was a total reference, by the way, to William Gibson. When are we getting our Neuromancer movie? I feel like that is more appropriate than it's ever been, because I was listening to a story on NPR today about in Hollywood they're running out of like burial sites, and like rich people want to get buried, right? Because they're rich and they want people to like forever remember them, and they go, I don't want to be cremated. I want somebody to come and just like pour one out and leave gifts on my dead corpse for the rest of eternity. However, they're like, well, we just don't have any places to put people anymore, so what are we going to do? And they're talking about like taking these old high rises and turning them into kind of like mausoleums, and like the hubris of this. Jake has entered the chat, by the way.
It's like a Pokemon ghost tower?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Tony Jones says, Bo, what is Faces of Death about? I recently got the DVD at Walmart. Don't put it... hang on. You found a Faces of Death DVD at Walmart? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It has to be like a knockoff movie, like adaptation. It's not the real Faces of Death. There's no fucking way that is that was a DVD. So Faces of Death. What Faces of Death is so the Faces of Death really kind of started the whole urban legend of these VHS cassettes that people would pass around, kind of like old skateboard videos that got like Tony Hawk famous and the CKY guys famous. It's on their website. That's super weird. But originally, it was just snuff videos. It was just videos of people dying. You know, getting electrocuted, accidents.
Like getting shoved into barrels.
Yeah, and it was just a bunch of snuff films. And there were these VHSs, and you could get them away. And you would trade them. You'd find them in these like seedy video stores. But it was like truly snuff films. I got a hold of one of those VHS ones. I had a buddy who ran this website called All Clues, No Solutions, and he got a lot of lost movies and would port them to VCD. He was actually the original co-host of the Drive-In Speaker Box, aka the Negative Cutter was his name. Shout outs to Michael. But if it's the real thing, don't watch that shit. It's horrible, man.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
What's Looney? Why does Vince say that you need to tell me about Looney?
So I got up here and was trying to pre-stream. Style Project. Oh my God. Style Project was pretty awful, but there was a lot of core memories made on Style Project. Thanks for bringing that one up, Merle. I think that's where I discovered Meat Spin, which, boy, that's been and Goatsy, and just lots of just internet OG classics. But Roll Up in the Sky So Deep, It Be Crying, and you thought it was rain. So Looney was... I was up here trying to get the pre-stream started, and Restream, which is the software that I use to push to all the different platforms that we stream to, was giving me errors. And it just Twitch. It wouldn't connect to Twitch. And I'm like, what the hell? And I couldn't figure it out. And I rebooted the computer, did updates on OBS. It was taking forever. I removed my account from Restream, added Twitch back to Restream, was just doing all this insane stuff. And then I'm like, I can't figure it out. It keeps giving me an error message. Everything else is working fine, but not Twitch. So I put in a tech support request, and I got a live tech support, and I thought it was going to be AI guy, but it wasn't. His name is Den, and he's very helpful. Thanks, Den. And he's like, can you do me a favor and paste what your title of your stream was? And I was like, well, it was Let's Review The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, and celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And he's like, in the description, I was like, well, we watch The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, and drink Irish whiskey, which I have right here, so we can have a little bit of that, and talk about film. And he's like, they're probably banning your title.
Earth blew up?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, geez, Earth blew up. Well, let me go ahead and edit that. So I take that out, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe they don't want me drinking Irish whiskey. So I take out drinking whiskey. I take out Day the Earth Blew Up, and I just change the title to Let's Talk About Looney Tunes. And then Twitch, error, just error. And I'm like, back to an error.
Oh, You can't call someone loony?
You can't call someone loony.
Wow. The amount of ridiculous stuff that TikTok stuff, like you can't say kill. The word suicide is just oh wow, I just ruined our stream.
Yeah, we're dead now.
You can't say
can't call people fat and ugly and stupid.
Well,
and
loony is one that's a bit off the wall.
Loony?
Like, hey dude, you're loony, bro. And they're like, oh my god.
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
attacked. I'm so attacked. Here's what Velvet Santa.
Oh, that's not real. That's a different thing. That's a marketing deal. That's not Faces of Death. They need to make their notice Dino actual. Yeah. It's you know, if what would
well, it took me a second to get the answer there, Vince, only because I would have never thought that loony was a banned word.
What's his
You can't say that people look tired. Like, you can't say...
He told me. He said that.
Hey, dude, like, you look tired.
That's what he said at the beginning of the stream. He goes, "Bo, man, you look really tired." I'm like, what?
Oh, I see. Okay.
But, you know, like, if George Carlin were alive today, and, like, how tame would his 6 words, like, special be? Because, this, you know, the infamous 6 words you can't say. And it's like those words we say all the time. But he'd be like, wait a minute, I can't... The words that we can't say now are, like, the dumbest words. Anyway, okay, well, let me adjust the camera. Let me get a couple of glasses so we can slaunch each other. Slauncha. It's St. Patrick's Day. That's what they say. Slauncha to health, you know. And we'll start this thing. So, give me just a second. Give me a second.
Just a second. Oh, Vince says it was 7 words that George Carlin had. Man, when I was a kid, I was a giant George Carlin fan. I was such a big fan. And then at some point of listening to George Carlin so many times, I realized that it was just a dude bitching about a lot of things.
Isn't that most comedians, though?
It was just a lot of bitching. When we went and saw Gallagher,
he was the smartest dude in the room, and he was bitching about like important stuff.
My family went to see Gallagher because that was a thing also as a kid that was like, oh dude, Gallagher, and then his act just turned into him griping but without any humor or comedy to it. It was just like it turned into a Facebook post, Twitter platform basically. And he let every single kid that wanted to smack something with the hammer go up there until I was like, I want to go hit it with the hammer. And my parents were like, no, we're leaving. So I
get your poncho and let's go.
But yeah, the comedy of the show ran out after like the first 45 minutes, and then it dragged forever.
Okay. Merle's got his poured. We're gonna start the podcast recording. I mean, we're already streaming on Facebook and YouTube already, so you guys got a little taste of the pre-game here. But we are gonna reset for. I'm not even gonna do the animation things because it doesn't even matter now. We're just gonna pause for audio and stare awkwardly into the cameras while we start the web stream or the podcast.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. I wish I could control like the zoom and the focus remotely from here, but.
What is it? Where it's like people leave the room and then the guys are just like,
right,
until someone comes back.
Let me turn off our beats, and let me do this one. Actually, I don't even need to do this one because we're just going to jump right into it since we're streaming everywhere else, so we don't need all these like, check this out, check this out, check this out. Oh, here we go. Look at all these things we're going to make you look at before it's go time. We're just gonna do the thing. So I'm gonna mute our mics, and then.
We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading about.
It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy St. Patrick's Day. You are tuned into the Drive-In Speaker Box movie podcast. I'm your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I am Slick Doggy the Grip.
Welcome back. And for the next hour, we're going to be talking to you about movies, as we always do. We're going to be telling you what's coming out in theaters in the future. We're going to talk about movies from the past. We're going to talk about movies that just came out last week that we saw. But before we get started, because we're wearing green. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this obviously, but use your mind's eye. Oh, you got a Buster Bellies?
Yeah, dude.
Buster Bellies, that's cool shirt. Like, is that our Buster Bellies?
Yes.
That's a cool one. I'm just wearing, I like how both of ours are alcohol shirts. Like, you're wearing Buster Bellies, and I'm wearing a Lucid. This is an Absinthe brand, but it's like the only green shirt that I own.
Yeah, I have a couple of Buster shirts. In fact, I think there was one or two that I ordered and never got. So
I got the red ones that they put out for sale at the closing. I just got mine the other day. Yeah. But we're gonna be starting the show off with a little bit of Teeling small batch Irish whiskey from Dublin. And,
Teeling.
Yeah, because it's St.
Thanks,
Patty's
Merle.
Day. And Merle over there on Twitch, I think he redeemed got some points. He's got a shot on Doc. So for those of you that want to get in on the fun on the live stream, be sure to like and subscribe wherever it is you like to follow things. You can go on Discord. We got a Twitch, a Facebook, a YouTube. We got all the fun things, but you can find us on our link tree at driveinspeakerbox.com. So here you go, Jake. Slancha to health, and cheers, guys. That was finished in ex-rum casks, so not bad, huh?
pretty good.
Pretty good. So, all right. Well, I know. It's not bad.
Okay.
So.
It's like it's like Jameson if Jameson was good.
See, I'm a Tullamore Dew guy. Like, I like Patty's, I like Tullamore Dew, and Bushmills if I'm going to be drinking Irish whiskey. And Bushmills is the oldest.
Isn't Tullamore Dew a Scotch?
No, it's an Irish whiskey. It is, because to be an Irish whiskey, if you guys need a little history lesson that's not about movies, to be an Irish whiskey, it needs to be a couple of special things. Number one, unlike American whiskeys, aka bourbons and other things like that aren't made in the Kentucky region, American bourbons have to be barrel aged for 2 years in oak barrels. Irish whiskey has to be aged for 3 years, and it doesn't specifically have to be oak barrels, but a lot of the times it is. And most Irish whiskey is made from barley, whereas American whiskey is made from generally like a sour mash that comprises of like rye, corn, wheat, and other things like that. So, there you go. And not all whiskey is Irish whiskey if it's aged in a different barrel. But technically, yeah, if you want to get really specifics, but yes, it's Irish is 3, American is 2. And it has to be made in Ireland. It's got one of the, it's, a geographical indicator that it has to have. So, Vince says he misses those pinpoint cocktail videos. I was on the news this morning actually doing cocktail videos, but we were talking a little bit about movies, but not much. One of the things that I noticed in the news this week that I did mention in other platforms today is we have a release date for Spinal Tap 2.
Dude, what's crazy is there's been so many Spinal Tap videos showing up on my YouTube of like when they made their appearance on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
When the guys have all gotten together and done it as like an acoustic act, just to be funny.
Because you see the teaser where it was just they were turning everything up to 11, and that was it. It was just an amp, and it was just an old person's hand turning everything up to 11.
Is Harry Shearer?
They're all in it.
Able to like still?
I'm sure he's going to be putting on a very Rolling Stones-esque performance, and I can't imagine them not making tons of fun of the Rolling Stones and other bands like them that are just like,
just kept it going.
You know, I mean, can Mick Jagger even do that anymore?
Oh yeah, Mick Jagger's unstoppable, dude.
And who is the guitar player? God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Keith Richards, who's even more ancient. Is he dead?
No.
How?
Cause, dude, he's pickled.
I mean, you gotta, it's like people that are like, oh, I eat yogurt every day. I'm drinking kombucha. I run for my health, and then at age 62, you've got asshole cancer and you're dead because we got a polyp up there. So good night, Irene. And then Keith Richards is like, I drank formaldehyde from a funnel into my butt crack, for like 6 years. And he's like 93 and still playing guitar or whatever. It's crazy. I don't know, but
yeah, okay, well that's exciting. Spinal Tap is so much fun.
Formaldehyde from me bum,
dude. Yeah, Big Bottoms.
That's right, Big Bottoms. That's a Spinal Tap classic.
I will listen to the Spinal Tap soundtrack anytime.
Any
Big Bottoms,
any day.
Sex Farm. What's another good one off of the motion picture soundtrack? Because they have albums.
Well, and the thing that people don't realize about the Spinal Tap is they've been making Spinal Tap-esque movies for a long time. Like A Mighty Wind is freaking great. It's like
the same.
It's the folk Spinal Tap. It's the same people.
Yeah.
And then Best in Show is another fantastic one. And did they also do Waiting for Guffman? Was that another one that they did?
That was Christopher Guest.
Yeah. But I wasn't sure if it had all the same people.
I mean, I think it had a bunch of his friends and stuff in it. Because, all those.
And they're all so good.
Yeah.
They're just so good. But anyway, I'm excited about that. September, mark your calendars. Mid-September, I'm sure that date will fluctuate. Right now, I think it's September 12th. But there you go. Oh, and Velvet Santa said, for your consideration.
Well, that's coming up quick. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God, no! Don't tell me September's coming up quick. I got a lot of things to do between now and.
I mean, as far as like movies that I wasn't expecting to happen, 6 months from now, as far as like a movie that I didn't even know was gonna be a thing for sure, is pretty quick. Most of these movies we talk about were like coming out in winter 2027.
Mm-hmm. Except for Freakier Friday, which somehow slid under the radar until I didn't care enough about it to see it. I saw a trailer again, and I'm like. Wait,
well, they just released the trailer. The trailer's out because they've been talking about it. And now there's
so bad.
The trailer. I saw the picture and I was like, I don't care.
And I really like Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, I really, really respect her and enjoy every performance she's ever done. And she's just a cool
like
dude.
Her Activia commercials.
They're great. They're fantastic. Because she's just like she seems like the coolest person to just hang out with.
I bet Jamie Lee Curtis is probably pretty fun to hang out with.
I just want to be her friend, and but I don't want to see Freakier Friday. That's not a thing that
I never watched the first one. I watched like the original, but I didn't watch.
Is that not the first one?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the original.
Yeah, not the Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan one.
Yeah,
okay. Like the real movie.
It's okay. I will say that the Lindsay Lohan Jamie Lee Curtis one's not bad because Lindsay Lohan had her moment, and Jamie Lee Curtis has always been awesome. So but I don't know. I don't think I need to see this. Other things that are happening in the world. I got caught up with Reacher and Severance and Invincible.
Man, I keep wanting to watch Reacher, but I don't have the time to sit down because I know as soon as I want to sit down and watch several episodes in a row because I know it's going to be good because the 2 seasons that have been so good. It's hard to be like, I'm going to sit down and watch this.
This season's pretty good.
Cobra Kai either.
And Cobra Kai is good. I'm not looking forward to Karate Kid Legends. I keep seeing more and more trailers for it. There is nothing. I saw another trailer for it this weekend, and there's just no amount of suspension of disbelief that can make me wrap my brain around Jackie Chan coming and asking Daniel LaRusso for help with Kung Fu.
Well, yeah, and it's really weird that he's friends with Miyagi. and it's like the timelines of
Yeah.
like
Well, and also
some
like
Chinese dude and Japanese dude being buddies just doesn't.
and hearing Jackie Chan in the narrative, like going, kung fu, karate, two branches of same tree. I'm like, no, no. I
Well,
mean, sort
actually,
of.
so the Okinawan karate is from a school of kung fu, and so that does make sense because Miyagi.
That's a stretch, though.
No, not really.
But I mean, you could tie all martial arts back to one tree if you want to. If you want to get there.
Kinpo. So Kinpo.
Yes,
Karate.
Kenpo karate.
The Okinawan karate is like direct from like kung fu stuff. So,
But then
I mean,
you watch the kid like doing these flips and these ladder flips and
it
these
doesn't make sense in a
helicopter
movie.
things, and
Yeah.
then Daniel-san is like, stand on one leg and get him, and dude, it just no.
It says, "Welcome to Jake's." Well, actually, corner. Team.
Well, actually, Kenpo, there's a dude. So where we have our studio, for those of you that are listening at home and following along and trying to like recreate what the cinematic universe of the drive-in speaker box is, downstairs there's like a karate dojo, and there's this guy, and he's there, and I mean he looks like one of those guys that like does karate as a grown up, and. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I did. You put whatever connotation to that you want. I mean, I'm not referencing.
No one says anything like that with a positive spin on it.
Why not? Like
He looks like the kind of guy that.
we all saw Foot Fist Way, didn't we?
Yeah, dude. Because it's badass.
And anyway, so he has this, and you can probably hear me right now. I don't know. So the
You can without the headphones on. You got like bass turned up in here or something. So
well,
you can,
I got bass turned up right here in my throat. But the set of the Foot Fist Way is downstairs from where the drive-in speaker box studio is. And, you know, I always see him in there like with a bow staff, like when nobody's in there, just like flipping and spinning. And then he has like kids. And he's like, all right, punch the sack, kids. Hiya. And I've always like watched this dude. And I was at the DMV the other day and I saw him in there and I like sat down next to him. I was like, howdy, neighbor. And he like, much like an adult guy that does karate, like had no ability to interact with another human that's about his age. And he's like, you know, and we talked for a little while, and he moved here from, I think, Texas, and teaches. He's actually an accomplished martial artist. He's got like, you know, several different disciplines. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy.
I want you to go up to like Michael Jai White and be like, I mean,
seems like a dude that would
like an adult that does.
I mean, this is
martial
coming
arts.
from a straight white dude that is, you know, over the age of 30, that's sitting in a room full of toys that's about to talk about the Looney Tunes movie. What? Right? Okay. So it's like, I understand where my place is in the world. So, you know, Vince says, I loved someone who does karate as a grown up. Like we all do, you know? I mean, it's just...
If it wasn't expensive and I wasn't fat, I would totally be doing martial arts as an adult.
Hey, I'm I'm a yellow belt in Aikido as of 2008. I think was the last time I did any of that. But
yeah, but like Aikido is one of those things.
What do you mean?
I mean, okay.
It very fits my life philosophy. Yes.
Steven Seagal it.
That's right. Use your opponent's momentum against them.
Yeah, use the force is what they do in all their exhibitions.
And maybe you just don't understand Aikido.
I sure do. Have you ever read the books about the founder of Aikido?
I have.
What's his name? Starts with an M. He was like 4 foot tall. He trained with the very last of the Takeda samurai dudes, and he like
This is all true.
he punched bears to death in Hokkaido because he's like, Hokkaido needs settling. Let's do it. And he just like punch all the animals to death. He's like, follow me, settlers of Hokkaido, and like punched bears in the mouth.
But then he's like, no more punching. Because we got to teach people not to punch.
He was so upset about being tiny that he would dangle from trees for like days to try and stretch himself out. Have you read about this man?
Yes, and it's just as absurd as he says, ladies and gentlemen.
These are
crazy.
things that are true stories about the founder of Aikido. I've read like
about
3
short
books
kings.
about this guy.
Man, short king energy. Like, look at Napoleon. You can conquer the world with enough short king energy.
You know the abandoned half of my apartment building has an Aikido dojo in it that has like a 2-foot thick
Why
foam
the
pad.
hell is it abandoned? Why are you not in there like training montage every Tuesday? Just
Well,
do the best around.
Dude, if I could,
it's,
it's because it got ruined. Oh, no one's in the business
Dude,
below it right now.
bro,
It
this
got ruined by the girls that used to live on my half because they went and they cut a hole in the foam, installed a stripper pole, and would
this sounds like the coolest space. Why have you not
practice-
invited me over
They would
to
practice
the
stripper
abandoned
dancing in there, and we
Aikido
all got in
dungeon
trouble.
with stripper poles
We all
and
got
babes?
Everyone got in trouble because of them, and then I was the
According
only
to
one.
who? It could be like
The property owners.
screw them. They don't care. It's still there. It's like
Alright.
y'all were the Goonies, just like unearthing, like,
Yeah.
and there's this old Aikido, and we're gonna teach ourselves martial arts, and you're like, but we're just a bunch of like nerdy guys, and then these girls like, and they open it up and they go, we're gonna teach ourselves how to be like sexy stripper dancers, and y'all become like friends, and you set up like a team, and then you clean up the streets, and it's Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, but with karate and stripper poles. This is the movie that we need to happen.
I'll take you in there sometime.
Yes,
Morihei Ueshiba. There you go.
I'm gonna clean this town around, and we're gonna teach secret dojo karate
Well,
and
okay.
and aikido.
I'll take you into that half, and I'll show you sometime. But the whole thing is that there's like crazy clown graffiti stuff. There's a clawfoot bathtub full of silverware that's. I'm just making it more appealing.
Yes, you're only making it cooler.
I'll show you the dojo, but
you live above the Lost Boys hideout. Like what the fuck? And you're like, yeah, there's like a chandelier and a big like Jim Morrison poster, and you take me down there, and you're like, Bo, drink
dude,
this.
if we walk into that half and it's like, bwee, 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 I'm booking it, dude. I'm getting the hell out of there.
Little sister. And I'm gonna pull out this like wine bottle and I go,
Yeah.
how are those noodles, Jake? How do they taste? You're eating
Eating
worms.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Velvet Santa says a giant penny. It's the Bat Cave over there. Yeah.
Bro, this is our crime-fighting lair.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, this is where we clean up these streets.
If it was kick-ass.
Dude, we're gonna be vigilante superheroes, downtown Fayetteville style. And you've been sitting on a lair for how many years, and you haven't told your homeboy?
Dude, I'm disturbed that Velvet Santa is picturing me on the stripper pole. Not a chance.
Mark Landry, who
the apartment building sounds awesome. It's not, dude.
So-
there's no heat and it's falling apart. And there's
you're
like
talking to me and now Mark Landry,
a lizard infestation.
two dudes that can fix anything.
I could fix stuff.
But why haven't you why is there not like a bat computer down there and stripper poles with like people practicing Kempo and like and
All right, I'm gonna get the thing from the Three Ninjas where you light them up.
oh dude, and we'll go down there and there'll be like the narc video game, and somebody will come down there and like offer you regular or menthols, and then we'll like skateboard down.
Yes, I'm making it the Foot Clan hideout,
Dude.
And I'm gonna have Revolution X in there. And you're just gonna open the doors. You're gonna hear music's a weapon,
dude. This is gonna be the cool. This is the cooling. This is the
Wow,
coolest
leaving
thing.
so spoon.
It's gonna be the tick.
Dude, it is like a haunted part of it, dude. I'm telling you. Yeah, DJ Merle, the Three Ninjas thing. You punch him in the nuts, light him up. Dude, I'm gonna be Rocky in that bitch so hard.
This sounds like the greatest adventure.
It sounds far more exciting than it is because I'm
And that's
spicing it up for
the entire show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna live stream like the next live stream.
The show's over. We're going right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Tune in 20 minutes while we drive back across town.
It's gonna be one of those like videos of people like it's gonna be a Blair Witch video. We're gonna get murdered as soon as you film it.
There's gonna be like a zombie sorority girl, like stripper that knows Kempo.
Oh yeah,
and
it'll
she's
be
just
like,
like, get out,
House of the Dead stuff. Yeah, like James,
get out, y'all. And yeah, and then she's just like bleeding ranch from her face, and just
oh yeah, total Silent Hill type stuff. Yeah,
dude,
with Sorostitute sauce.
Man, I cannot wait. Just wait. We're gonna do this. This is gonna be so good. We're gonna turn into a lair. We're gonna turn into a hideout. Because here's the deal: we go down there, and I bring Mark with me, and we go down there, and we make it so rad down there that your landlord goes, "This is cool. carry on, and then
No.
and then we could like make a candelabra that like you pull, and then it just opens up a door, and then you go down like a spiral staircase or like a fire pole, and dude, it's gonna be I can't wait.
You make it sound like it would be like the Foot Clan hideout and it would be super rad, but in reality, it's like the hangout from the beginning of
Train spotting
of yes, or like Kindergarten Cop, where he's like, I love my car.
Or it could be the place where we can make like aluminum foil lasers to keep out the bad guys on the water tower. That's in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, but put lasers and we just get a bunch of Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I just need a place where my imagination can run wild again because it's being stifled by the world around me, and I just want a place where I can go.
It's just dirty, nasty clown graffiti.
Let's clean that shit up and make it better. Let's make it clean, nasty clown graffiti.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be dirty. I mean,
Hey.
what is it like? How is it dirty or nasty? Is it like dirt, or is it like clowns doing rated R stuff? Like,
no, the spot is dirty and nasty, and then there's just weird, creepy clown.
so we
graffiti.
could clean it up, and it could be.
I mean, I'll show you. I will expose the reality of this to you sometime.
Hell yeah.
But the point is, there's an Aikido studio in there, and I was the only one that recognized it because there was photos of Ueshiba and some of the other
What the fuck?
leaders of Aikido.
You're like, and you find this old scroll.
No, they're printed. It's just a printed black and white picture that someone thumbtacked onto a cover.
But still, and then there's like some Bill Conti song like starts playing in the background. You're like, bee boo ba boo boo.
Yeah.
And you like dust it off, and
Yeah.
and we're gonna go find the rich stuff. That's how we save the Goondocks. The rich stuff is down there. It's gonna be the beginning of our quest.
Yeah,
You just don't even know.
I guess, but I mean.
This show is all about me having to. I have to know. I have to
So basically, what you're saying is that we're going to
break and enter.
Elvira this place, like in the movie where the house gets spruced up
Yeah.
by the local teens because they're all like boob obsessed to the point where they work a 20-hour day
Of course,
painting a rainbow home.
because it's going to be like in House 2, a second story where we go in there and we find a crystal skull that unlocks this like our
and
like an old ghost grandpa.
Everything
prospector.
starts moving, all the furniture starts wriggling.
Yeah, it's gonna be badass. Like either way, it's gonna be a plot of a movie that's rad.
Okay, we'll see.
And
hey, you know what? Talking about
movies,
movies and creepy spaces here. There's a trailer for the new Steve Buscemi movie here. Buscemi. I need to find out what the proper. I need to watch an interview with him and find out what he
Buscemi.
says.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
It's called Psychotherapy.
Okay.
Where a couple is in marriage counseling, and he is Vince says Buscemi.
Buscemi.
See, I don't know. I've heard it so many different ways, and I've seen him there and seen him not correct it. So who knows? Just like Willem Dafoe was like, he himself pronounced his name as Dafoe, and then his name was like William, but he just started going by Willem.
See,
So
and that's why
his
it doesn't matter. We can call him whatever you want.
William Dafoe became Willem Dafoe. So anyhow,
Names don't
but
matter.
yeah, psychotherapy.
You can't label my essence.
He is a psycho murderer. I don't know if you can say that word since we were talking about words that Twitch and TikTok don't let you call people. He's not loony, but he's psycho, and he's a killer. But this couple accidentally thinks that he is their new marriage counselor, and so then they're being counseled by a murderer.
Whoa.
Yeah. So maybe maybe it's a continuation of his character from Con Air, and you find out that that's what he got back up to.
Everything's connected
because he goes free, like you.
He does. He just escapes, and he's the crazy one.
Yep. Yeah, you don't know what he did, but he's the most dangerous one on the plane, even more dangerous than the virus. So how about that? Also, there's more talk about this remake of
Starship Troopers. Yeah, I'm doing my part.
But
and
it's
I feel
not
like
going
that's
to-
why the memes have brought it back up, because do not mess with a Paul Verhoeven movie,
Dude,
because you can't redo it.
I love Starship Troopers, the movie.
'Cause it's so
but
good.
A lot of people that are fans of the books don't like the movie because it's not the book. It's
No,
far
it's
from
not.
it. It's very Paul Verhoeven and not so much the book.
And that's the thing, is because Total Recall is not very much anything like the short story.
No, but it's so much better.
Very Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah.
And there is a style of movie that is, when a director reaches a certain auteurism, that they become a style. Like there is very much a Spielberg style. There's a Wes Anderson style. There is a Darren Aronofsky style. There is, and you're like, these people, and there is a Paul Verhoeven style, and you don't mess with it, man. Don't do it, because it's not going to be the same.
Most of them are really good.
Yeah.
And there's usually lots of violence.
Tons.
But Neil Blomkamp is making that, and he's going to...
Is he really? Because I kind of do like him.
Yep, and he's most likely going to do it more like the book. Because him...
But he
think-
also loves over violence.
Yeah, but think about like District 9 and stuff like that, and then, or like Chappie, and he's going to do that in a way where like the whole like being a citizen and all that stuff, he's definitely doing it to the letter of the book or close to it, right? It's going to,
as long as he doesn't get like Die Antwerp to be like, I'm doing my part.
yeah, hey ninja, I'm doing my part. Yeah, get that out of here. That would be hilarious though. And then they just get bugged
and they get
real hard.
brain bugged.
Yeah. There's no information there.
The brain bug like spits them out.
Yeah.
Or actually, that's how they defeat it. Is they give somebody so stupid to the brain bug that's how they think they're going to defeat the human race, and they're just like,
Oh yeah, and that's how they win.
They
The
make
only
them
part is the bad thing is, I mean, you're not gonna have Neil Patrick Harris being like,
evil.
it's afraid. It wasn't evil, but he like touches the brain bug and he announces that, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I'm scared to death of us." And you have, you have the Kurgan being the hero,
dude.
and you got Jake
Clancy
Busey,
Brown,
and you
Jake
got
Busey,
Casper Van Dien being super cool,
being the only thing we remember him from. Man, it's no,
dude. Michael Ironside,
Michael Ironside,
you have Lex Luthor and Darkseid in that movie,
dude. Like Starship Troopers, and it's one of the. So I don't know how Paul Verhoeven does this, because Paul Verhoeven has
and the Flash, because
yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris did the Flash's voice, and
So Paul Verhoeven has this amazing ability to make movies that are so rated R, that have so much like titties, rape, ultra violence, people shooting dicks off, like people's skin falling off, just people getting blown apart, bullets to the skull, brain sucking out of bugs, triple titties, like give them echoing like mutants, and then every single one of them becomes like a cartoon and a kid's toy, and like how does he do it? Like
dude, the Starship Trooper Roughnecks was one of the coolest cartoons.
yeah, and
it
it
was
had
so good.
Cool toys, a cool cartoon, RoboCop, cool toys, a cool cartoon, Total Recall, cool toys, like kids loved it. Like how does something about
Showgirls, cool cartoon.
kids love it? Like Paul Verhoeven just has this way about making movies that are just so rad that you want to show the kids. They're just like, look, if you're gonna see 3 titties on one lady and you're gonna see a dude's dick get shot off, and you're gonna see an alien suck a brain out of some dude's butthole, this is the way you're gonna see it. So we need the children pay attention, and then children are like, yeah, I want an action figure of it,
Dude, yeah, when I was younger, those movies were always like the best, and then I had all the toys. But maybe that's how you end up like this. Speaking of things from the 90s getting a remake that we don't need, the Anaconda movie, Paul Rudd was recently interviewed about, and he assured the world that it is not a remake.
we talked about what the plot was or what
It's
it
a
was
comedy.
leaked. It was a comedy about guys that loved Anaconda,
Right.
and wanted to go back to where Anaconda was filmed and film themselves visiting there. And
But
then
it is a full-on. It's a reboot.
But then the plot
yeah,
of
it's
Anaconda
not
takes
a
place
remake.
again.
But it's nearing its filming end as well.
And if they don't have John Voight in that thing, I'm done. Like, I'm done with Hollywood.
Can he still act? He's
Put
old
him in a
as-
wheelchair. Wheel him out like they did poor Jimmy Carter, like not too long ago, where he's just this corpse that looks like the grandpa from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just Grandpa Sorium out there. And he's like, "Argh!" And then he gets eaten by an anaconda.
That'd be
You
fun if
know?
they brought him there just to be eaten by
Yeah,
an
dude.
anaconda. Well, because they're fans of the movie, and yeah, they have like actual actor John Voight, and he gets
Yeah,
eaten.
and he plays himself.
Or have J-Lo get eaten. That would be
Oh
funny.
well, they gotta if they would J-Lo do it though. Well, what is J-Lo doing these days?
I don't know.
Is she okay? I don't
No
know.
clue. But yeah, he said they have about a week left from the time of that interview of filming there. So that one's coming at us soon, and we'll see about it. But I really don't think that the world needs that. Speaking and more things from the 90s that people don't need, which this will, I watched The Electric State. And
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, there's more 90s and things people don't need coming up. But Mortal Kombat 2, we have gotten some stills from the movie. Have you seen these?
No. Oh no. Is that Carl Urban?
Yeah, because he's Johnny Cage, but he does not. Dude, Carl Urban's awesome.
He is
I
awesome.
like.
I
Carl
love
Urban.
Carl Urban.
Johnny Cage and Carl Urban is not a great
Does not
combo,
compute.
and it does not translate to screen. But oh man, I forgot. No internet. But anyhow,
Okay, yeah. I'm
Shao
seeing it.
Kahn is a CGI mess, and it
Oh,
looks
God, no.
god awful. Katana looks like whatever, more
Okay,
recent
yeah,
video
I see
game
it,
style.
I see it, yeah.
But Shao Kahn looks like just utter garbage. And then also they've done,
It's Cube.
yeah.
Mark Landry asked if Anaconda starring Cube or T.
Yeah,
and he
I
still
see-
doesn't
yeah.
know who is who, and it's Cube. But now it would be Cube Jr.
Oh yeah, it might be. Yeah, O'Shea Jackson Jr. But so they've talked about how there are characters that were killed in the first movie coming back, and so people that are unfamiliar with the Mortal Kombat franchise as a whole and its newer iterations, since Armageddon and newer, they're like, what are you doing? Bringing back these characters killed in the first movie, because Kano and Kung Lao are supposed to be making their returns, and so Ed Boon,
Kano sucks.
Kano does suck, and that's kind of his whole character, is that he sucks, but he was by far the most entertaining part of the
Well, he's
most
comic
recent
relief,
movie, right? Yeah,
in
exactly.
all of them.
Yeah, the nasty rapist man is the comic relief.
He is.
The-
He's like, "Oi, I'm gonna say something inappropriate, mate," and then he gets
just
killed
the
hilariously.
cartoony Australian accent. Yeah, the criminal arms dealer, sex abuser is the comic relief. Yeah, that's hilarious. But so Kano and Kung Lao are making their returns, and Ed Boon was interviewed about it, and he was like, "I don't know if y'all have played Mortal Kombat recently." But whenever souls die or are taken by Shang Tsung or whatever, they go to the Nether Realm and they can be reanimated. There are ways of bringing people back, especially since they brought in the whole chrono thing where time is controlled by one person, and the whole reason we get all these Mortal Kombat games is because they reset the timeline each time, and it's just the world goes and then it ends, and it goes and it ends, and it always ends in Mortal Kombat. And so who knows what's going on. So not only do they have it where souls are able to be reincarnated in various forms across the realms, but also time is just an infinite loop with trying it a different way. Chronically. So there you go.
You remember this, right?
Test your mind. Test your mind. Mortal Kombat!
I hope we don't get in trouble for this.
No, there's no way we can get. You've never seen this?
I'm sure I have at some point in the past.
This is like instantly when people start talking about Mortal Kombat, I think of this kid.
Well,
Where is he now?
you think of this kid. Now, I remember when the first Mortal Kombat movie came out, and all of us, like, this was the jam of my world. Everyone. Okay. Dude, I bumped the Mortal Kombat soundtrack so hard because Sub-Zero was hilarious. Oh, Chinese Ninja Warrior with a heart so cold. They call him Chinese Ninja Warrior.
Oh,
Sub-Zero. So many problems with it, but man, does it go hard. Anyhow, a more dumb Mortal Kombat crap coming out. That first movie sucked. Cole Young is a garbage character.
We're not talking about the original Mortal Kombat movie. 'Cause
No.
that movie is a masterpiece.
The one from the 90s is fun.
Yeah, that
No,
one's
the
good.
most recent one.
Okay, yeah, that one sucked.
Yeah, the HBO one that went
Yeah,
to
it was
theaters for a
terrible.
minute. Yeah, and everyone's like, "Whoa, it's so good."
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah. So anyhow,
Because Hat Guy was the main character. And no
Kung
one cares.
Lao.
Yeah, no one cares about that. Well, let's talk about movies that are coming out in theaters right now before we run out of time with the show to review the movies that we're supposed to. March 21st is coming up. That's this weekend. We've got a couple of big movies that are coming out in theaters. Only one is probably going to get big, wide released because Disney is going to make sure that we have to give it money. They're going to make sure that it becomes a box office hit because they have to make it that way. And this is the new Snow White with Gal Gadot and the rest of the people that are going to make this movie bad.
oh man, there's all these interviews out with stars of the movie and the people that made it, and they're like trying to defend why the dwarfs look that way.
Like CGI monsters.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. Weird putty. CGI.
Just CGI monsters. Yeah. Rachel Zegler goofing it around. It looks so ham-fisted and so terrible. I want this to bomb so bad. But I know that Disney will just will it into existence. They will just force feed it to us until we have no other options but to go see this movie.
Just leave it sitting in theaters like Mufasa.
Until finally we're like, look, okay, fine, we'll watch it. Just get it out of here. And so that's coming out in theaters this week. Also coming out in theaters this week, The Alto Kings. And I don't know if you've seen this. Or did I say Kings? Alto Knights. It's from Barry Levinson, and it's from the creators. They're like trying to like kowtow to all the old farts that like watched Goodfellas and The Irishman and Bugsy. But it was a little bit of a cringeworthy trailer for me because it's Robert De Niro playing two characters in the same movie, and it's about Vito Genovese and Frank Costello, a pair of Italian Americans who were rivals in control of a major crime family in the mid-20th century. See, Genovese attempted to assassinate Costello in 1957, although Costello retired from the mob, and is about this mobster who brought down the mafia, or so it has been told. I don't know, but it's Robert De Niro and Robert De Niro playing two characters, and it's so cringy because Robert De Niro's range as an actor is not that big, and everybody loves like going, "Oh, Robert De Niro is such a great actor. He's so great. He's one of the greatest. He's a GOAT." And he's not. Like, Robert De Niro is really good at being Robert De Niro.
Oh, sure, yeah. He's a good actor, but he's not a character actor.
He is not a character actor. He is good at being a very specific typecast. That's the word. It's called typecast. And we love, like, there is no other Robert De Niro. Like, when you need that, it's Robert De Niro. That's why, like, Meet the Parents. He's like, "Hey, capiche? I'm Robert De Niro. I'm your fucking father." You know, like, and he's that. "Hey, I'm parenting here." You know, and it's like always that. And this is like, I'm supposed to believe that this is two very different people. That everybody in this movie is not like, "Hey, are y'all like absolute twins. Like, are y'all like Clark Kent Superman situation? Like, you just rip off the mustache and it's like, no, it's not me at all. I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know. I can't take this trailer seriously. I can't do it. But it's gonna be in theaters this weekend. If you want to see it, watch the trailer, and tell me I'm wrong. Like, watch the trailer and tell me it's not so cringy. I mean, I feel like just have thanks, my spot on De Niro here. Just, you know, I'm walking in.
That wasn't even him.
No, just walk in here. Yeah, that's from Taxi Driver.
No, dude, that's from Urban Cowboy, and
I thought it was Taxi Driver. Hits the I'm walking here.
No, and it was Captain Hook. It was
what was that, Robert?
Rain Man. It was Rain Man.
No, I didn't quote Captain Hook.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Midnight Cowboy. There you go.
Was it Midnight
Cowboy? Yeah,
Cowboy?
Dustin Hoffman. There it is.
Where did I do Dustin Hoffman?
Walk in here.
Was that Midnight Cowboy?
Yeah, dude, it was Dustin Hoffman, and it was
wasn't Taxi Driver?
A real cab tried to run him over, and so he hit it, and they kept filming, and it stayed in the movie.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
They're
the whole story about it.
They're both good fellas, and
Dustin Hoffman is not good.
No, I know, but he's the same. He's the same typecast of, you know.
Dustin Hoffman's a great character actor. What are you talking about? He's fucking Captain Hook.
Not anymore. He's not.
He'll always be Captain James Hook.
Anyway, Robert De Niro. I don't want to see this movie. It looks so stupid. I've had 2 shots of Irish whiskey. Actually, I've had 3, but I had one before you got here. But anyway, I'm podcasting here. Let me. Vince says, between you guys, the chat, and Google, we know everything about movies. But here's the thing. We don't Google anything. Like, this is just us talking about most of the things we...
Well, and that's why I'm saying, between us and Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if we were in a bar setting around a dinner table, y'all wouldn't know, because we say it with such conviction that you're like, yeah, these dudes totally know, because most of the time we do. And I'm sorry, I got Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro, 2 like saggy flesh sacks that are ancient and do this all the time, confused. My bad.
Is Dustin Hoffman?
He does it all the time. He's like, ah, ah, ah. You know, that's like his thing now. Or wait, no, that's Al Pacino.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm bringing a third one in. It's Al Pacino. It's Dustin Hoffman.
Al Pacino's closer to what you're doing.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it here. It's Al Pacino. It's Al Pacino. They should have got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in this. It was that's
They've done movies together.
Anyway, Alto Nights looks like a piece of shit. That's where we were going with that. And also on the piece of shit front, a new movie called Locked with Bill Skarsgård, and
what is he doing?
I don't know, because I like Bill and Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, this movie.
Yeah. Anthony, you know, I really like Anthony Hopkins, and I really like Bill Skarsgård. And Locked is a movie from director David Yarefsky, but it's being produced by Sam Raimi, which means Sam Raimi liked the script. He probably liked the early cut, and he's putting his name on it to get it pushed out the door.
But this story has happened before in various forms of media. So that's the crazy thing, is like this has been told. This has happened.
Yeah.
The whole like guy tried to steal a car, and it turns out like it's a
death trap,
a torture room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the plot. Like, Bill Skarsgård is this kind of down on his luck, kind of nice-ish guy, because he helps like a kid or something at the beginning of the movie. Gets stuck in a luxury SUV with a crazy Anthony Hopkins, who's like, "You're in my car now," and of course, because it's 2025, the car, like,
it's automated.
It has AI
and
and
drive itself.
Yeah, and has bulletproof everything. And there's, you know, Bill Skarsgård's like, "I'm gonna get out of here," and you know, he's trapped in the car, and he can't get out. So I'm sorry to hear that, Merle. But yeah, it's coming out in theaters this weekend. This is going to be a straight to VOD, like, and I think the only reason it's getting wide release is because Sam Raimi slapped his name on it. So there you have it, and that's what's coming out in movie theaters this Weekend. Okay. We got to review movies that came out this last weekend. I saw The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. And for those of you that don't watch the live stream or listen to the podcast, there was a whole thing of me trying to get this title put on. Apparently you can't say Looney on Twitch, which is, yeah, it's like beep tunes. This is a movie that I don't know why it hasn't been advertised more. This is a movie that also I feel like probably would have instantly hit streaming if not for how stupid and cable-like streaming has become. Because if it were gonna hit streaming, it would only be on like, what is it? What's WB Plus or
Max?
Max.
Max is Warner Brothers.
So it could only be on Max. And I feel like they wanted to hit a wider audience and knew that, so they put it in the theaters for a hot minute. But they did not have any sort of advertising campaign on this. And it's really unfortunate because this movie represents a couple of things that I find very, very interesting. Number one, this is a sort of a non-linear narrative from characters that we all know that is not about character development, but it's about just a fun adventure. It's not something that you see like Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks, all of these. They have to have these like encapsulated narratives with new characters that they introduce so that they can follow a traditional narrative arc, right? And you see it all the time. It's because arcs are easy to, it's very easy storytelling. And James on Facebook says, "Oof, Looney Tunes, will it ruin my childhood?" No, it won't. If you grew up watching Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons or any Warner Brothers animation, you're going to like this movie. And here's another thing that I think that is underrated about this movie. This is all 100% hand-drawn animation. And
Really?
Yes. And that should be the marketing campaign because that's huge. That does not happen on United States soil anymore. And it's starting to become a very rare thing. And I found this out from a few sources. Number one, I did some internet research. But number two, I have some animator friends that are like, we're tied up for a long time on projects we can't talk about. Because Warner Brothers was scooping up every animator that they could find to work on this movie in the United States, and everybody was doing sales for this movie, and it finally came out. And it's a beautiful watch. It's like if you were a fan of old Looney Tunes or Batman the Animated Series or like all that like early that
WB
80s, 90s WB animation, but with a budget, this movie is gorgeous to watch. Like it's so just fun to watch. The problem with this movie is it does not have a traditional linear storyline. It assumes we know that Porky Pig and Daffy Duck, we know their tropes, we know their, their isms, we know their...
Geez, they've only been around for 100 years, bro.
Right. But newer generations, the whole reason we reboot things is they go, well, maybe this thing that's been around for 100 years, these new generations just don't know about, so we got to make them fresh. They didn't. They go, this is Porky Pig and classic Daffy Duck, like hoo 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 Daffy Duck, and it's really endearing to watch. They do like put a little guide rails on this and say Daffy and Porky grew up on the same farm with this farmer that raised them. It was like Farmer Bill or whatever, which was also a hilarious vignette. And they separate it into a couple of small vignettes that are like Looney Tunes episodes. It's like Daffy and Porky get a job, do-do-do-do-do, and they fail at everything. But their dynamic is really interesting because Porky, of course, is a notorious rule follower, and Daffy is a chaotic force of nature.
Being that it's like a little green thing that falls from space, is it like heavy metal but with Daffy and Porky?
So this takes an interesting turn because I was pissed off initially before I saw the movie. It's not quite heavy metal because I was like, where's Marvin? This seems like a really, really good way to bring Marvin into the equation. Marvin the Martian, for the people that don't know Looney Tunes. But they do a really cool, and I don't want to even call it a plot twist, but it's just a turn in the plot that is so very Looney Tunes, and it's so and it's good, right? So the plot of this is Daffy and Porky. This is very relevant to a lot of people. They inherited a house from Farmer Bill. It was a big old plantation, big huge farm. They had all this land. Farmer Bill dies, goes off to heaven, pulls a Mufasa from the clouds, and is like, "You boys take care of the home," and they don't. And it's fast forward to 2025, and everything is gentrified around them, and they haven't taken care of their house. And some Karen who's a part of the HOA of their neighborhood is like, "We're going to condemn your house because you're not mowing your yard, you're not fixing your roof, you have to comply to our neighborhood standards," and they don't, and they have to go get jobs to pay to fix the roof but there was a UFO that took out a piece of the roof, and Daffy, who's the insane one, is on to all the clues, but no one believes him because Boy Who Cried Wolf storyline, right? Because he's a lunatic. And they go and they try to have all these jobs, and they can't get it. They run into Petunia Pig, who works at the chewing gum factory, who's trying to find the most amazing flavor ever, but somehow this alien goo winds up into the chewing gum supply on the launch of this new chewing gum flavor, and it brainwashes the entire population of Earth into becoming mindless zombies that chew gum.
That's some popular gum.
It's some popular gum. And Daffy's the only one that knows about it, but no one will listen to him because he's crazy. And they are the only ones that can stop this alien invasion from taking over Earth through this chewing gum. But spoiler alert, I don't want to spoil it. Other things happen to save Earth, and it's so stupid, but that's Looney Tunes. And they tried to do. Daffy tried to get a job as an influencer, and he just pulled his feathers down off his butt. And he just started shaking his butt at Porky's cell phone. It was playing bass music. It's and he was like, "Oh, are we making money yet?" And then and then they get banned from something because Daffy used a word like loony that you can't say on Twitch. But it deals that's what makes Looney Tunes and Warner Brothers comedy so good, is because it can be fun for kids. But much like Animaniacs, which is grown up as hell, there's adult humor baked into the equation. So you can watch it with your kids, or you can watch it as just a single white dude in the theater by yourself, which there was a lot of, by the way, in my showing, and still have a pretty good time. McLean on YouTube says, "I had likened the plot of this movie like a regular show episode to people." That's pretty accurate. James says Warner Brother Kids had it going on in the 90s. Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, Batman Beyond, Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim, another show beyond its time.
Dude, nothing is better than Batman Beyond and Freakazoid.
But that's the thing that Warner Brothers Animation had going for it that a lot of these new animation studios don't, is the ability to make adult humor that can also appeal to kids. And but it's also its downfall, because the Looney Tunes format is short form slapstick humor, and it's not a lot of Looney Tunes stuff doesn't suit itself for long-term narrative. Like Space Jam works because they inject people that we know. There's a long story. There's Michael Jordan. The thing that I love about The Day That the Earth Blew Up is there's no Chris Pratt as Porky Pig, and you don't have any of there's no celebrity voices whatsoever in this movie. Not a single celebrity voice. It's just the voices of the Looney Tunes cast.
Well, other than, what's his name? Carlos. Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't call him a huge celebrity. And I mean, the guy that he is Vigo, he's in it, but not a huge celebrity, right? These are voice actors. Wayne Knight's in it for 2 seconds, but not as it's Newman.
Fred Tatasciore, I don't even know. He's a very famous voice actor.
And that's what makes this movie good, is its voice actors. This is an animated movie at its core. This is a classic animated movie. And I think more people need to watch it because it's hand-drawn. It's people playing characters, not characters playing people, which that is a problem with a lot of modern animation. It's, you know this person, we're going to animate this thing to look like an actor you know. Like Kung Fu Panda, that panda is Jack Black. Jack Black is not that panda. That's a problem, right? And you know, animation has moved in this way that I feel like we're not creating new characters. We're creating characters to fit celebrities, and that's a bad trend. And this movie, while not a strong overall narrative, is fun, man. I had a really good time watching this movie. It's gonna do terrible at the box office. It's gonna bomb so bad. But it might be really fun on streaming. But I encourage you guys to go see it in the theater.
Well, I kind of wish that I would have went and saw it because I thought about it, but instead, I watched a real dumbass movie on streaming.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the new Netflix Electric State, and we are almost out of time, but that's okay because there's not a lot to talk about here. It does have Chris Pratt doing dumb shit.
Of course.
So this is the next overinflated budget. It was $320 million budget. Dude, Night Owlishly, it was so bad. $320 million to make this Russo brothers movie with Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown and Stanley Tucci and Jason Alexander for like 3 seconds, Ke Huy Quan for like 5 minutes maybe, a voice acting done by Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
Inexplicably by Woody Harrelson. So there was a big cast, a giant budget, and just the biggest turd of a movie. Oh, Anthony Mackie plays a real thuggy little robot man.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. So it is. Velvet Santa says Chris Pratt is movie boner killer. It's all of Netflix's little golden children. You know. The whole point of this movie, or the plot, because there's not anything to ruin here, really. I could just tell you the whole thing. It opens up in the 90s. There's a little kid taking a test to find out if he's the genius. Oh, in 1990, right? And he does this test that it took Einstein 3 days to do, and he did it in like a matter of like an hour and a half or something. And he's just the most genius to have ever been. And then he just tells you what's going to happen in the movie right there. First 20 seconds of the movie, he goes, well, they stole his brain. They stole Einstein's brain. He was a genius, and they took his brain from him. Well, guess what happens in this dumbass movie? Everything that they lay out for you, they're like, well, robots are mean, and the, army is just so pissed at these robots at this college. The kid's in a car accident, and they steal his brain to fight the robots, right?
As you do.
So the whole thing is that Disney invented robots.
Wait, Disney?
Yeah, Walt Disney created robots.
And this is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Walt Disney created robots, and from that time, they just progressed and became a part of everyday modern life.
So it's all from the world of tomorrow or the Hall of Presidents?
No, just a Disney robot.
Just Disney robot.
This is
because the Hall of Presidents was the first Disney robots I ever saw, and they scared the shit out of me.
These are like fucking AI real robots, not animatronics, robots. Okay. So Disney made a robot, and from that point in time, from like the 50s to now, then robots became a part of everyday life, doing all the tasks and things that people don't want to do, and there's every flavor of robot. But the movie takes place in 1990 and then 94.
Okay.
But the whole thing is that all these robots exist, but yet there's still dial-up internet. There's old 90s computers and 90s telephones.
Because it's better. It was better then.
Well, but that's the whole, and none of it makes sense.
Is Stanley Tucci the bad guy?
Yes.
Okay.
There's tons and tons of plot holes. There's tons and tons of things that don't make sense. It shows that they have dial-up. But yet they can, with the use of this child's brain, they make VR headsets so that people can live their lives and do work. It's able to split their brain in half, and they can have fun and do work at the same time. So their body sits and rots in a chair.
On 28.8 bod modem.
Yeah, while they're getting like blown in Tahiti while drinking sex on the beach
With Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, and then on the other side, they're doing work as the robot body. And it's just a lot of cut and paste from a bunch of other sci-fi movies with none of the heart or flavor of it. And the whole thing is that, like, the robots and the people went to war because people were mistreating the robots, and people won because they used this child's brain to make the VR headsets. So then humans weren't using their real physical bodies to fight, but instead using their robot bodies to fight robots. And when they defeat the robots, they send them all into the middle of Arizona, and they have like 100,000 mile or 100 million mile desert corridor that's fenced off just for them. But the whole thing is they're able to like live stream and project and go to the ends of the earth in the middle of the desert on dial-up internet and stuff. It's just the most ridiculous thing. And Giancarlo Esposito is like, he's the butcher. He's like the most bad bounty hunter in the world, coming to kill robots.
Man, I'm watching the trailer again right now.
It's garbage. And the whole thing is that, like, he hates robots and robots aren't alive, so they can just kill robots willy-nilly because they don't have feelings and they're not real, except that they're complete intelligences, and they give them a like zone to live in even though they're not considered alive. None of it makes any sense. But the whole point of the movie is that the girl's little brother finds a way to escape his mind prison that he's being kept in and inhabit the body of this like robot based on a cartoon. And then he comes and finds his sister, and they go on the adventure to rescue his body. And on the way, they find Chris Pratt, who's just this ne'er-do-well selling stolen goods from the blocked off zone. Always. And he's buddies with a robot because when he was fighting in the army, this robot was like, hey, maybe we don't kill this guy. And they're friends for life now. And then they go and they meet, Mr. Peanut, who's the leader of the robot resistance thing. And they form this whole culture. And Kiwi Kwan is this like doctor who salvaged the kid's brain, but then found out the kid was alive. And they said they'd kill him if he told anyone that the kid was alive. But the whole movie results in nothing. It's all for nothing because at the end of the movie, the brain kid tells his sister to murder him, and then she does to shut down all of the VR bots.
Okay.
So that humans and robots can be friends.
The dial-up VR bots.
But all she needed to do was like open his like cage or whatever. It's stupid, and I have no idea how to do it, and it makes no sense because it takes place in the 90s with technology that's so far beyond everything, but yet the day-to-day technology is still the same as 1994. Yeah, because someone picks up the phone and they're like, "Oh, get off the friggin'."
Mom, you're gonna interrupt my contact with this android.
It's one of the dumbest movies I have ever sat through, and it lasts forever. Chris Pratt has like no story or character. He is Chris Pratt.
He doesn't, because he's always the same.
He's Chris Pratt with 90s aesthetic. Millie Bobby Brown
say yuck.
She looks like a 30-year-old playing a 17-year-old who's actually only a 21-year-old.
It's going to be the new Stranger Things, by the way.
I don't know what to say about this movie other than it's predictable. It's laid out for you. It's cut and paste, and the only part of the movie worth watching is Kiwi Kwan's character when he comes in, because he's like, I'm gonna act in this fucking movie, and no one else does, because Stanley Tucci is Stanley Tucci. Millie Bobby Brown is putting on an American accent, but other than that, she's not doing anything. Chris Pratt is just Chris Pratt, and there's nothing going on in this movie that makes it worth watching except for Kiwi Kwan's character, and he's killed in 5 minutes. You get to find him and then watch him die, and that's it. And Giancarlo Esposito's character is too much. He's too much of a cartoon. He's too evil. Yeah. But then when it comes time that he like finds real evil in Stanley Tucci, he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not a bad guy anymore. And it's just, it's very difficult to sit through.
Esposito always being pigeonholed as these like mega bads?
I actually
wanna
like Stanley Tucci's the bad guy. Says
Can we
not
put
Ashley, he
Carlos
never plays the bad guy.
Esposito-
Stanley Tucci does play a bad guy, and every time he plays a bad guy, he plays this bad guy. He plays Stanley Tucci bad guy. It's just a toned down
Well, it's
version
just like
of his character
Carlos
from
Esposito's bad guy. It's always the same bad guy.
very calm, very just like I'm evil, like bad guy. Stanley Tucci's bad guy is his same character. He's Stanley Tucci, man. It's the toned down version of him from Hunger Games. It's a less gay version of him from Devil Wears Prada,
or the Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, it's always the same, and there's nothing fresh. There's nothing new. You've seen every part of this movie in a different movie. You've seen it in Ready Player One. You've seen it in that movie with Bruce Willis, where people send their robot bodies out in the world to do work so that they can sit at home. You've seen it in countless other movies. There's nothing new here. There's nothing worth remembering. There's nothing that makes this a standout film. I think the only people that would benefit from this movie in any way watching it is people that have never watched a movie that with any merit in their life.
I know these people. I'm gonna watch this movie.
Vince says a touch of the Tooch is nice sometimes, but when he's one of the big time characters, it's a lot.
I ain't trying to touch no Tooch.
And Night Ashley says, hit over the head with a message. The message is lost in this because like you got to save your brother. And the electric state is the fact that whenever people connect, then out in the ether, their molecules will always be connected in some way. They have an electric connection. So this brother and sister duo, no matter where they
like
are
a
in the
rainbow
world,
connection from Kermit.
I guess wherever they are in the world, they'll find each other. But it's also the double meaning because it's like there's robots in the state and stuff. But it's
so stupid.
And then it has a dumbass ending that leaves like a cliffhanger of, but is he really dead? Or is he a fucking robot?
The
now?
question mark ending, yeah.
So, lots of dumb stuff. Lots of Billy Bass. Overpowered weapons and technology that doesn't make sense in the time period. The pairing of 1994 technology against what this movie gives you as its technology, but them both existing at the same time, just by itself breaks the movie and doesn't make sense. Night Owl, she says, felt like had some quality actors that tried so hard to carry the worst movie. I don't think any of them tried is the thing. I think Ke Huy Quan tried. I think that...
Because he's on it right now.
Woody Harrelson tried his best to be a voice actor, and at times he got it, and at other times he was given like this weird, messed up Mr. Peanut character that just didn't play out. Dollar General bargain bin special. Yeah, that was it. This is definitely like a $5 bin movie. And it's very long. It cost a lot of money. The visuals are not great. The story is not present.
The money went to the cast.
Nobody has a character to them. There's no character to it. And the only person that you see character development from is Ke Huy Quan's doctor, because he's like a butthole, but then he's like, oh no, I have real feelings here, and then he goes into a wasteland to be murdered, and it's dumb.
That's a bummer.
So, anyhow, it's terrible, but it's quote free or whatever, so
you can check it out.
Yeah, you can watch it if you really want to, but
if you got the Netflix,
there's not much there to justify you wasting that much of your life.
Well, speaking of wasting your money in your life, let's go to the box office roundup this week.
Dude, Vince is right. Stanley Tucci in Lovely Bones, he was a wicked man.
Yeah, he
in
was
that
a wicked
one,
man. But for the last weekend, March 15th or 14th through 16th, 2025. I do want to mention that number 12, Opus, which opened up. Like, I wanted to see this because I like that the girl that's in it because she was in The Bear, but it only opened up at $1 million from A24 in 1,700 theaters. That's kind of rough. But
I don't even know I haven't seen any trailers for that I can recall at all.
We're gonna give you the top 10, and then Jake's gonna give you the top 10, and we're gonna start with number 10, end with number 1. Let's do it.
Okay, at number 10, dropping from the number 3 spot, Woody Harrelson in Last Breath, $2.3 million.
That was a plummet.
Into the deep.
Into the deep.
$2.3 million brought in by it in its third week out, bringing it up to 18.5. Not a lot brought in by that one. It's had I've seen that it's had nothing but like positive reviews about it. Maybe the rest of the world's like me, and that just doesn't look that entertaining of a movie. And then at number 9, another steep drop from number 4, The Monkey, 4 weeks out. 2.5 brought in by that one, bringing it up to 35 and a quarter. I have heard that one's good. People that have actually went to and watched it.
A little bit of a horror comedy.
Yeah, exactly. They said it does have horror, it does have comedy. It gives people what they want, and the people that have actually watched it said that they do like it. And then at number 8, dropping from the 6th spot, Dogman, 7 weeks out from DreamWorks on this one. 2.5 brought in by that, bringing it up to just under 93 million. Another 33 across the globe.
Not too bad.
So just under 126 million for its total. And then at number 7, slow descent for this one, non-advertised, but just hanging in there. Good job.
Because Paddington 2 was awesome.
Paddington in Peru. 2.6 million brought in by that one. 5 weeks out, still in there. 41.2 million here in the U.S.
But
142.6 elsewhere across the globe. So $184 million brought in by
Paddington.
The new Paddington. And then opening at number 6, The Last Supper. Is this like a real super religious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the trailer to the CGI with all the famous people about the story of Jesus being told by Charles Dickens? It's like if DreamWorks were to do the Bible, and it's freaking crazy.
DreamWorks did do the Bible,
but it's Angel
Prince of
Studios.
Egypt.
But it's Angel Studios. This is different. Yeah, but anyway.
Well, I'm just saying, DreamWorks did do the Bible because Prince of Egypt is a movie.
Yeah, no, it is.
We are Google. But yeah, Last Supper opened at just under 2.8 million bucks. I haven't seen anything about it, but then again, I don't hang out in the kind of circles that I guess those trailers would come up with. And then opening at number 5, the movie that you talked to us about today, The Day the Earth Blew Up,
it's a bummer.
Tunes movie, 3.1 million brought in by that one. It made 2 million elsewhere in the world, so I didn't know that Looney Tunes would be popular elsewhere, but animation.
Well, especially no marketing at all.
Right. Yeah, exactly. WB hates their properties for some reason. Who knows? And then at number 4, Captain America: Brave New World. 5.7 million brought in by that one in its 5th week out, bringing it up to 185.6. Those are not the kinds of numbers that Disney has grown accustomed to with their Marvel movies.
But it is broken into the top. Like, they were like, it's finally one of the most highest grossing action movies of all time, and it's like number 99.
You know how we talk about they make up records for movies to break so that they can say that they did that? All of the articles I've seen for this movie have been like, it's tripled the budget of Disney's biggest bomb.
Dude, yeah, it's
like,
so stupid.
What are you sitting through to make the
so
numbers
hard
to make it sound like it's something?
It's so cool, yeah.
Another 203.5 across the world. So 390 million for Captain America total. And then at number 3, dropping the top spot, Mickey 17, a movie that we talked to you guys about last week.
Yeah.
Just under $7.5 million. It's brought in 33 and some change here in the U.S. Another 57 across the globe. So 90 million bucks so far for that one. Not a bad watch. That one
it was good.
Is worth sitting through.
It is.
That one is a good sci-fi.
A lot of people are like, it's too big. It's too Boondoggle is not so great when it does English language. I thought it was better.
What are you talking about?
I thought it was a lot better than a lot of movies I've seen.
Most of Bong Joon-ho's movies that like are real big are English. So
yeah, exactly.
Talk about like Snowpiercer. That was the sleeper that it has been. And then at number 2, Black Bag, opening at the number 2 spot, 7.6 million brought in by that one. If you want to see Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but like they know they're spies together. Yeah. Another 4.4 elsewhere. So it's brought in 12 million total so far. I don't know that one's going to see big numbers ever, just because it seems drab. But I bet that'll be something people watch later on streaming. But then taking the top spot, these are such low. What a low.
This
box
is one of the
office weekend.
worst box offices. They've been talking about how bad this one was. Yeah.
Well, that's so opening at the number one spot with only $8.8 million, Novocaine. So, and when I was looking at what movies we had in our theaters, Novocaine and Looney Tunes were the two that I was like, do I want to go watch these? Not really.
You should have went and saw Looney Tunes.
I should have watched Looney Tunes, but I was like, man, I don't feel like animated. And Electric State was something I could put on while I was doing other things if I really wanted to. I ended up paying attention to the damn movie.
Well, that's
I
what
wish
I
I
do.
wouldn't have. I really wish I wouldn't
can't
have.
ever put a movie on in the background and like not pay attention to it.
I was like, I'll watch this new movie. It's a big deal. It has a bigger budget than all of these, and it was such shit. But yeah, I wish I would have watched Looney Tunes. But yeah, there you go. Novocaine taking the top spot with almost no dollars.
Well, there you go, guys. That was the box office roundup from March 14th through 16th. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We've wore green. We got the green lava lamp going on here. Do we pinch? Like, I don't know what.
No, you can't get pinched. That's the whole point of wearing green.
Pinch armor. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us wherever it is you want to find us. You can find all of our links on our link tree at driveinspeakerbox.com, or just tell your smart speaker to play the Drive-In Speakerbox podcast. If you don't want to look at our faces or participate in the chat, which is fun. But anyway, we will be back next week. I don't know what we're going to see, but we'll go see something.
Yeah, I mean, when do some movies come out?
I don't know. I have no clue. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm the Boom Operator.
I'm good.
We'll see you next week.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.